Alright, so let me just give you some context with this chord progression. I haven't made beats all week. I really didn't feel like it. I wasn't feeling inspired. So one day, this idea just popped into my head. I hummed it, recorded it in my phone, and then I went into the DAW the next day to realize it. All right, so first chord that we're using is a D sharp major 6th chord, and that transitions nicely into a D dominant 7 chord. Dominant 7 chords, amazing. So that then goes into a G major minor 7 chord. That then goes into an F major 6 chord, and that then sticks the landing on that G minor 7 chord. Now, second part. What I've actually done is I haven't used that D major 6. I've actually just removed that C, and that eventually turns it into a D sharp major chord with a doubled root note. Transitions into a D dominant 7 chord again, of course. Now that then goes into the F major 6 chord twice. And then you get this little phrase here where everything just goes a half step down. My favorite phrase to use in R&B. All right, so I did tell you that, the vision immediately unraveled, right? So today I'm moving with a sense of purpose. I'm trying to not waste any movement. Everything I do, I am 100% sure is going to fit into the beat. So the first thing that I want to lay down is the bass line and then the drums, and that's going to give me a strong fundament for me to experiment with. So as you're able to see, I already got Reactor loaded up. Reactor, as you know, is my go-to plugin for bass. I did briefly consider taking out the Scarby bass in Contact, but I really feel that I wanted a, thick low-end bass from a synth. So that's why I took out Reactor. Excuse me. So that's why I took out Reactor. So the bass line that I have in mind sounds a little bit like this. Hold on. So we're gonna try and record that in the piano roll, and then we're gonna try and add some necessary variations because we want to play a little bit. We want this to have a little bit of funk. All right, let's go and move. I'm liking what I got so far. It's giving me a playful, mischievous vibe. It's definitely R&B, but I feel like it's bordering pop a little bit. It's a very upbeat pop kind of chord progression, which is cool. So when I think of artists, I'm starting a battery in the meantime. When I think of artists that could possibly jump on this, thinking ahead a little bit, I'm thinking Ella Mai, but I'm definitely seeing some kind of weird collab with a Ariana Grande, for example. I don't know. That's just my perspective. Either way, so next up is drums. So give me a little bit of time to round up the drums that I want to use. Then I'm gonna play a simple drum pattern. I'm gonna be back with y'all. Hold on. Battery, because today I do not have the patience to deal with high latency recordings. I don't feel like it today. So I'm just gonna do everything in the box with the playlist. So I told y'all that, having this would give me a strong foundation, and I do. I got a mad strong foundation. So I'm gonna assign everything a pattern of their own. And this is where I start thinking about, okay, what kind of instruments do I want to add? Do I want to add a pattern of electric sunburst? Do I want to add a nylon guitar? Do I want to add pad, vocal samples? I definitely want to lead, so I'm just making my wish list as I go. But once again, we'll move with a sense of purpose. So everything that I eventually do end up adding is destined to have a place in the beat. All right, so hold on, let me see. Okay, good. So I've been getting busy. I took out a vocal sample from Splice. It was a Splice kind of day. Still feel that all vocal samples, even in arcade, Splice are more geared towards EDM, future bass, and R&B. There's actually very little R&B if you ask me, but I found these vocal samples, and the cool thing about this, the way I put them in the DAW in the playlist, it almost feels like the artist is actually live improvising on the beat, as opposed to this tight sequenced loop thing that you usually get with arcade or other vocal samples. So they sound like this. Hold on. So what I'm gonna do now, I already got them routed to one mixer channel, so I'm just gonna unleash my processing on them, have them sit in the back so that if you're looking for them, you will find the vocal sample, you'll hear the vocal sample, but they won't immediately draw attention to themselves. So let's get to work. Ooh, another cool thing that I did is I added Waves vocal doubler, and what I did, I took two of the voices and I pitched them down an octave, so it gives you that kind of, well, it's not exactly that kind of form and shifting effect that you hear a lot in R&B and in trap. So now it sounds like this. And I think that's a real cool subtle effect that I'm probably going to use a lot more on my vocals nowadays. So yeah, moving on. So I did say that I was looking for a second piano, and the piano that I think I am going to be using is the Grandeur. So I'm gonna make a MIDI out for that bad boy, and I'm just gonna have it play the same chords, but with a little more embellishment, with a little more passing notes, and I'm probably gonna pitch it up an octave and process it differently. That's probably what I'm gonna do. Okay, so that second piano is just perfect. So I'm gonna copy paste this pattern again. This time I am going into let's see, what I feel like using today. I think I'm just gonna go into Xpand, get me a pad from Xpand. Yes, it is all coming together now. Now there are three elements that I absolutely want to add before I am going to call it a day, and that is a percussion loop, a guitar pattern, and a lead. And then there isn't anything else that I feel like I should add, because then the beat is essentially done. Wow, I was actually so impressed with the patterns and how slick they sounded. Is that I made two separate ones. Um, yeah, yeah, definitely, it's definitely gonna be the picked acoustic. Let me just add a little bit of processing. I always like a little bit of chorus effects on my guitars. A little EQ too, because I don't want it to be too present. Why was I holding my shoulder like that? I don't know. Modest EQing. Like that, like that. That should be enough. That should be enough. Hold on. Perfect. Subtly in the background, exactly the way I want it, man. Perfect. All right, let's go cross off that percussion loop. Then we're gonna nail the lead, and that's a wrap. Alright, y'all good people, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I hope y'all enjoyed the cook up. I hope y'all enjoyed me having fun. I hope y'all enjoyed me breaking down the chord progression, and I hope y'all enjoyed watching the vision for the beat just unfold. This is the end of the video. Thank y'all for tuning in to another day of R&B cook ups. Be sure to tune into the next, and I'm gonna see y'all soon. Peace.